Hello and welcome to another edition of County Connection on PBC TV. I'm your host, Leilani Yan. We're here today to talk with the Tourist Development Council and the Sports Commission about the new Ballpark of the Palm Beaches and what it is bringing to Palm Beach County. Here with us now is Glenn Jurgenson, Executive Director of the Tourist Development Council. Thank you so much for joining us today, Glenn.
It's great to be here. I'm always great to talk about tourism in the Palm Beaches.
First, tell us about the Tourist Development Council and about its role with the new Ballpark of the Palm Beaches.
Well, as you know, the Tourist Development Council is the advisory board to the Board of County Commissioners on tourism. So we collect bed taxes from our hotels, all the accommodations in the county. We collect 6 cents on every dollar that is spent in those accommodations for a hotel room. And we collect those in the tune of about $47 million per year. So the TDC, as we call it, Tourist Development Council, is responsible for going through and allocating those funds between marketing, between beaches, which is a major restoration project for us here in the Palm Beaches, and then also investing in assets, one of the assets being the Ballpark of the Palm Beaches. So as we go through and we look at how we're going to spend those monies over each year, we have to do a return on those investments, and certainly spring training baseball, the return is there that we said we can continue to have spring training baseball in the Palm Beaches, along with our already investment in Roger Dean Stadium.
How are you marketing this new Ballpark of the Palm Beaches?
Well, it'll be marketed not only in Palm Beach County through all of the activities that we do, just everything we do from a tourism standpoint has to be outside of the county. Bed taxes, when they're utilized per state statute, we can only use those outside of the county. So the good thing is that organizations like the Sports Commission and then all of our partners, whether it be the stadiums themselves or the restaurants or associations like the Hotel Association and the Florida and Restaurant Association, those organizations help us tell our story about tourism in the Palm Beaches and certainly baseball. So with that, we also have agreements with each of the teams. So each of the teams in their home destinations, so the Washington Nationals and then also the Houston Astros, in those home stadiums, we will be doing advertising in those locations during Major League session. So it'll be a great way to actually promote the Palm Beaches as a tourism destination, not only just for spring training, but also for a trip anytime.
What would you like to see the ballpark do for Palm Beach County?
I think it's going to add just another thing that folks can do to add to their list of activities when they come to the Palm Beaches. You know, we have many folks with the Roger Dean Stadium, and not only the Miami Marlins, certainly they have a draw from South Florida, but the Cardinals. When the St. Louis Cardinals come to town, those folks will come for 10 to 15 days. They'll stay in the hotels. They'll certainly utilize our restaurants. And if you go to a Roger Dean baseball game for the Cardinals, you'll just see a sea of red, all the red caps and all the red shirts. We're hoping that same thing is going to be done for not only the Houston Astros, but also the Washington Nationals. We have some great airlift into Palm Beach International from Washington, D.C., so certainly that's a plus for us here because we have some great connections and actually direct flights, which are great. And then the Houston, we're actually working on some Houston air traffic activities so that we can bring some airlift over from the Houston area to PBI, so that'll be great for us.
What kind of experience are you hoping for visitors and residents to have at the ballpark?
Well, when tourists come to the Ballpark of the Palm Beaches and also our sister stadium at Roger Dean, it's just going to be something they're just going to come for baseball, but there's so many other things that they can do. And as you know, one of the major activities that our visitors say when they're coming to the Palm Beaches are our beaches. So it's certainly our 47 miles of beaches that we have and all of the restoration that we put into those beaches from our bed taxes, because it is something that we have to maintain at pristine levels. We're just hoping that all the things that the tourist development agencies, between the Cultural Council, Discover the Palm Beaches, which are our marketing arm, and then we're trying to capture much of this as possible on film and TV so that we can utilize this in some of the advertising that we're doing as we go forward. So with our Sports Commission, as you probably will talk to George Lindley, who's our Executive Director of the Sports Commission, it's just we are a lifestyle destination for sports. So people can come here, they can either be a participant in sports in many cases, or they can be a spectator. And we're hoping that the ballpark at the Palm Beaches just adds another spectator activity along with in their off time. Our visitors can go to our cultural attractions, they can enjoy the beaches, they can enjoy all the dining and restaurants we have. We are truly the best of everything when it comes to tourism in South Florida.
Can you discuss the projected impact that the ballpark would have on tourism in particular and the community?
Well, for tourism, actually we have about 5 million room nights per year that have to be filled in our hotels. We have roughly about 17,000 rooms in Palm Beach County, nothing compared to Orlando, who has over 100,000 rooms. But all of those rooms have to be filled every single night. So we look at spring training as being certainly in our prime season, is helping to fill some of those rooms. But as you'll hear from our sports commission, it's the off season that's really going to help us from amateur tournaments, from those high school tournaments that we can bring in from all over the country, and I think all over the world as we move forward, to be able to put people in our hotel rooms in those off times. We have an occupancy rate that could be in the first quarter of the year, which would be January, February, March. We'd probably be up in the high 80s to low 90s in terms of occupancy in our hotels. As we get into summertime, it changes. The weather changes, it gets a little warmer. We could be in an August and September time frame where that low could be down in the low 70s to high 60s% in terms of occupancy. So just bringing in more of these groups, whether they be amateur groups or high school groups and their associated families, bringing them into the Palm Beaches just helps the hoteliers have a better return on their investment. It gives us a better occupancy. Rates will be lower in that time frame, which really does help our sporting community, because certainly the rates of the winter time would be very hard for any of these organizations to be able to handle. But as we come into summertime, our rates become a little more affordable, and the hotels are willing to work with us.
What is the foreseeable economic impact of the stadium that could be brought here to the county each year?
The Florida Sports Commission has done a lot of research in terms of what a sports stadium like this will bring to the county and has brought to the state of Florida. Each of the stadiums that they look at, and normally they're just one-team stadiums, they estimate that roughly about $50 million per year would be brought to the county that stadium resides in. In our particular case, we're very fortunate to have two-team stadiums. So even though the Marlins, we kind of discount that a little bit because most of the fans would be from the South Florida area anyway, we look at Roger Dean as probably bringing in between $50 to $60 million worth of economic impact. So we're looking at, between the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals, we're hoping between the $80 million to $100 million economic impact range of dollars per year. So that's across the board. That's not only the hotels, but the restaurants, all the way through all the supporting activities that would support those facilities, from the lawn care activity to going out and having the linens that are done, or the laundry that's taking care of the players' clothing. All those things are an economic impact driver to us.
How will the part-time, full-time job, pool be affected by this?
Well, certainly the construction pool was impacted significantly, and I know that in order to get ready for February 28th with opening day, certainly they have been working around the clock with some great teams of individuals to make this construction happen. After that happens, then there will be certainly groundskeepers and lawnskeepers and part-time jobs of happening during spring training itself, when the stadium's up and the concession stands are open. Particular numbers, I can't probably put my hands on those right now, we'll see, but it will be an increase in terms of net job activity and job growth. We roughly have about 85,000 leisure and hospitality jobs in Palm Beach County, and that's anywhere from the accommodations in the hotels to also the restaurant and also the cultural activities, the attractions and the like. So this will be just another addition to those leisure and hospitality jobs, and we've seen some significant growth over the past couple of years.
What entities other than hotels will benefit from these spring training activities?
I think the small business entities around certainly the West Palm Beach area are going to benefit from this. As we know, hotels are the driving force because that's where the players will stay, that's where the visitors will stay. But we're just so happy that the restaurants certainly are going to be a big benefit for those folks that are coming to visit us. And I think with all of our advertising activities that we can do to promote the other things to do when our visitors are in the county and staying with us, I'm hoping our cultural attractions, certainly in North County, because this is, you're looking at West Palm Beach, you're looking at Roger Dean up in Abacoa, Jupiter area. Our North County attractions like Loggerhead Museum and certainly up to the Lighthouse in Jupiter, those are areas where I think people will just take a side day trip, a side trip to go and just do a little tourist activity versus watching a ball game.
What is the plan for retention of Major League Baseball spring training here in the county?
Well, the key to the ballpark of the Palm Beaches was really to maintain certainly spring training baseball. If we were not able to do this with these two teams, it was very likely that we would have seen spring training go away in Palm Beach County. So it was certainly critical. So the long-term agreements that we have with all these teams as we go forward, and it's up to the Tourist Development Council to make sure that the stadiums are maintained, that the bed taxes that we bring in, that we have enough reserves in those bed taxes to make sure that we can do the refurbishment on these stadiums, not only the ballpark of the Palm Beaches, which hopefully won't need any refurbishment for a few years, but just this year we've added to the Roger Dean Stadium some shade. So if you're sitting in those stands this year, you're going to have the benefit of a little bit of shade from that sunshine that usually comes on and warms up those seats in the afternoon. So it's going to be a great benefit for us to make sure that we can come in, that we can keep those stadiums intact, and that those teams are going to want to stick with us. And it's just a long-term commitment for us to say that we want the Grapefruit League here in the Palm Beaches, and that spring training is such an important part of our tourism activity in the springtime.
What would you say to someone who's watching today who wants to learn more about the ballpark itself and the activities of the TDC and what's available to them?
By all means, if you're looking at information about the TDC, you can certainly go to the county website, and under Tourist Development Council you can get an idea of all the things that we do from the Tourist Development Council and we oversee. Our Discover the Palm Beaches organization, which is our marketing organization for the county, their website is palmbeaches.com, so you can certainly go out and understand all the things that would be offered for that. And then I would just go in and actually look at the Ballpark of the Palm Beaches website and take a look at that and get a little more information on some of the things they have coming up. And you will see and buy some tickets. Get out there and join us for certainly spring training this year. We've got some great lineups. I know there's some great teams that are coming in. I hear the Red Sox are going to be there, and so certainly being from New England, I'm looking forward to maybe taking in a Red Sox game this year.
Glenn, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing with us all the background and experience you've had with the TDC and the Ballpark of the Palm Beaches. It's wonderful work that you guys have accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to come and tell the Tourist Development Council story.
Here with us now is George Lindley, Executive Director at the Palm Beach County Sports Commission, to talk about the development of the Ballpark of the Palm Beaches and the impact it will make here. George, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you. I'm privileged to be here.
First, tell us about the new Ballpark of the Palm Beaches.
Well, it's an exciting time. We're on the brink of history for Palm Beach County as Major League Baseball spring training is ready to undergo another season, and we are excited that the opening of the Ballpark of the Palm Beaches, Palm Beach County's newest and robust sports facility, is going to be opening and launching on February 28th, and it will represent the kickoff to another great MLB spring training season for our destination.
Excellent. Tell us about the location.
Yeah, this is exciting. As you know, Major League Baseball spring training has been a huge part of Palm Beach County's identity for years, and we've been home to Roger Dean Stadium since 1998 in Jupiter, one of the finest spring training facilities in the entire state of Florida. It's home to the St. Louis Cardinals and our local South Florida heroes, the Miami Marlins. And this year they will be joined by the Washington Nationals and the Houston Astros at the Ballpark of the Palm Beaches in West Palm Beach. And it's a dynamic location. It's a great story behind all the conversations and what the county did in order to develop this facility, but it's being developed right now on a 160-acre parcel of land in West Palm Beach. It will bring great impact to the neighboring communities, and it's located right in the middle of Palm Beach County, centrally located. So we're excited. It's going to be a huge tourism driver for our community and a huge economic driver.
Tell us a little bit about the two teams that will be playing there.
Yeah, we're blessed. The Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals are two teams that compete in the National League. Joining the St. Louis Cardinals and the Miami Marlins. We're really fortunate when you think about what's happening in Palm Beach County. 4 of the 15 teams that compete in the Grapefruit League are going to be playing baseball right here in Palm Beach County. We will be the epicenter of spring training baseball in the state of Florida. And we are blessed to have such great partners with the Cardinals and the Marlins and the Astros and the Nationals, all respected teams. They all have a great fan base. The St. Louis Cardinals draw thousands and thousands of visitors from the Midwest that stay anywhere from a weekend to nearly a month and a half with us, creating a huge tourism impact. And we're expecting the same from the Washington Nationals and the Houston Astros. In fact, the D.C. market is a market that our county's tourism leaders, the TDC and Discover the Palm Beaches, pursue on a regular basis. So we're blessed to have great teams and great markets that are being represented.
Obviously, these fans from other areas will be coming to Florida as well. How will we accommodate the Houston Astros fans and the Washington Nationals following when they're here?
We have a great plan for every visitor that comes to Palm Beach County, and working with our friends at Discover the Palm Beaches and the Tourist Development Council and our Cultural Council, there will be a lot of promotion of the different attractions and the different experiences that our guests can enjoy when they're coming to Palm Beach County. What I'm very excited about is having now 4 teams out of the 15 in the Grapefruit League will give opportunities for baseball enthusiasts from across the country to come visit Palm Beach County. And in a span of a weekend to 3 or 4 days, they could have the ability to see 4 baseball teams here in Palm Beach County and several games and 2 great facilities. So it truly is going to be a special opportunity to create tourism. Now, furthermore, I'll say that we're really fortunate when you look back at Roger Dean Stadium, which was built in 1998. At the time was a $28 million complex. And it was the only, and still is, till the Ballpark of the Palm Beaches opens, it's the only team in the state of Florida, it's the only facility in the state of Florida that accommodates 2 Major League Baseball spring training teams. So now, this spring, Florida will be home to 2 MLB spring training facilities that accommodates 2 teams. And they're both right here in Palm Beach County. It puts us at the top in terms of being a baseball destination, and I'm excited because we believe that there will be baseball enthusiasts from across the United States coming here to enjoy the abundance of baseball they can get in a short period of time right here in Palm Beach County.
It's exponential,
yes.
Literally. What was the main role of the Sports Commission with the Ballpark of the Palm Beaches in bringing this to life?
Well, we are the county's sports tourism arm. So we represent sports tourism initiatives on behalf of Palm Beach County. Our role is to develop tourism through sports, to market the county as a sports destination, and we do that by recruiting sporting events to the county, creating and developing events, and supporting events that stimulate bed tax revenues and enhance economic impact. So we did a lot of an analysis on what spring training baseball would mean to our community, and more specifically, what a multi-purpose facility, a venue that was designed for not only spring training baseball, but that could accommodate baseball year-round, and in addition to the 13 baseball diamonds, a 7,500-seat stadium, and 12 additional regulation baseball diamonds, this facility will also showcase 7 multi-purpose fields that can be used to attract soccer, lacrosse, flag and tackle football, rugby, field hockey, those types of field sports. So this is one of the premier MLB spring training facilities in the state of Florida that's built to multi-use capacity. So we were advocating what can happen, and now that the stadium, we're less than a month away from the launching of the stadium, we are currently recruiting sporting events that can utilize this facility, baseball tournaments on a national, regional, global level, and other events that can occupy this facility and that will create room nights for our county, hotel room nights, and economic impact.
What is the experience that you would want people to have while at the ballpark?
I think baseball is our national pastime, and Palm Beach County has two magnificent facilities at Roger Dean Stadium and the new ballpark of the Palm Beaches. I think when they come here, they'll be able to enjoy an experience that they can't find anywhere else in our great state of Florida, having so many teams and in close proximity to be able to experience spring training baseball. You cannot duplicate that anywhere else in Florida. But more importantly, we live in a tremendous destination. We are the best of everything. Palm Beach County is the best way to experience Florida. And from our 47 miles of breathtaking beaches to our amazing cultural venues and attractions, our shopping and dining districts, when they're traveling in, when they're not watching the game, they'll have so much to do. And our Tourist Development Council and our CVB, our Discover the Palm Beaches, will make sure that our visitors will be armed with all the knowledge they need to enjoy Palm Beach County to its fullest.
And what will this ballpark do for the Sports Commission and vice versa?
We're excited. The ballpark of the Palm Beaches will be a game changer for us in terms of recruiting sporting events that are going to bring in visitors, create a tremendous level of economic impact, and stimulate bed tax revenues. So we're excited. We've already recruited a handful of great sporting events for the ballpark of the Palm Beaches in partnership with the Astros and the Nationals and the management team at this facility. For example, the third largest high school baseball tournament in the nation has committed to coming to the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. It will take place this June. And we're seeing expansion from other baseball properties. USA Baseball, the national governing body for its sport, is currently at Roger Dean Stadium and the Santa Lucius Athletic Complex in Lantana. The event will be expanding, will be growing, and will be utilizing the ballpark of the Palm Beaches to attract more teams for this one event and thereby bringing in more athletes and visitors. We're excited because when the big leaguers depart at the end of March and they're going off to start the Major League Baseball regular season, if you think that the facilities, both at Roger Dean and the ballpark of the Palm Beaches, will be empty, if you think nothing will happen, you're mistaken. We will fill both stadiums up with some of the nation's largest baseball tournaments, and for the ballpark of the Palm Beaches, it's a multi-use facility, so we'll have other events taking place from May through the end of October into early November, which is the height of the county's off-season when you get into the summer months and even the early fall and winter months. So we'll be driving room nights to our hotel community when they need the business the most, and we're really excited about that. It's going to be hard for other destinations to duplicate what we can do here in Palm Beach County.
Tell us about some of the positive impacts that you see coming directly from the ballpark.
Yeah, as mentioned before, the ballpark of the Palm Beaches in combination with Roger Dean Stadium will create a huge advantage for the Palm Beaches and for our Sports Commission in terms of recruiting and attracting sporting events to our great destination. Nowhere else in the state of Florida will you find two facilities or any facility that accommodates two teams. And what that means is both Roger Dean Stadium and the ballpark of the Palm Beaches will be home to 13 diamonds and two magnificent stadium environments. So combine the two facilities, we will have 26 Major League Baseball regulation diamonds in close proximity. Now that's going to allow us to go out and recruit sporting events or baseball tournaments on a global level, on a national level, regional and statewide level. And some events that we were not able to pursue in the past, we now have an increased volume of baseball diamonds that will allow us to go after these great tournaments. We're excited. Our approach is going to be twofold. First, we're going to be looking at events that are already calling Palm Beach County home, And we have some of the nation's leading amateur baseball tournaments taking place at Roger Dean Stadium, working with our current event partners to see if they can expand, if they can grow their tournaments to attract more teams, more athletes, and of course then more visitors, creating a greater tourism impact by moving to the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Secondly, we're going to be looking at those new events that I mentioned that we can now pursue because we have this incredible volume of baseball diamonds. Really an unrivaled level of baseball diamonds here in Palm Beach County, and we'll be able to grow and pursue not only grow our tournaments, but pursue new event properties that will create tourism. So we're really excited. It's going to be a huge advantage for us. The impact is going to be significant. When you look at what has taken place at Roger Dean Stadium last year, outside of Major League Baseball spring training, which is anywhere from a $50 million to $100 million economic impact, but outside of Major League Baseball spring training, we were able to program 19 different baseball tournaments, youth, high school age baseball tournaments that took place from April through the end of October into early November. Those tournaments attracted over 1,100 teams, 10,000 plus amateur baseball players, and generated nearly 20,000 room nights and what we project to be $15 million in direct visitor spending. That's on top of spring training baseball, and that impact from those tournaments were taking place during the county's off season when our hotel community can use the business the most.
George, thank you so much for joining us today. You've given us so much to look forward to with the Ballpark of the Palm Beaches. It sounds like amazing events and an incredible facility. Thank you so much for sharing your time.
Thank you for having me.